Let's all say amen.
Amen.
And like my brothers, I give honor to God, to the pastor, to the administrative staff, in line with the church, to Mother Calahan. I always did say that. Sister Calahan, what I would say. And to our other mothers in the church, to the church members, to the guests. You know, usually when you get a call, and you don't have to be out of town, but when you get a call early in the morning, or late at night, just before you answer, there's a little bit of, I don't know. Hopefully it's something good. But most of the time you be thinking, boy, I wonder who. Well, when I got that call from Rev, I was thinking the same thing. And then he laid it on me, and I went, oh my God. Oh, come on, brother. But I am thankful to have a chance to say good morning. And to wish everyone a happy Easter. And also to my mother, the same. You know, to carry what Reverend L.R., Pastor L.R. Calahan said. Our father stood somewhere where it wasn't that high up, because at that time I think the roster may have been about that high. And he stood up there and said, I got 3 boys. All 3 of my boys gonna be preachers. Well, Rev, you were right. 1 and 2.
1 and 2 make 3.
I'm the one need praying for. But in that life, you know, things worked itself out to where what we ended up doing, and it wasn't by our choosing, we end up sort of in that role anyway. And to this day, I'm thankful for what was told and taught to me. Now, I want to say this about Sister Peggy. I see all them years you were faking. I hear you up there singing. Sounded just as good. I'm telling you, you've been around here faking. I just sing that. The old man, he's rejoicing about that too. Now for me, normally this part of service, I wouldn't have made it yet because I was across the street getting my shoes shined. But the old man always told us, son, you may not have a 7, 8 cents in your pocket, but if you got your shoes shined, they may have holes in the bottom, but if you got your shoes shined, you may have on overall, but if they start to 9, nobody will know the difference. They can always thank you something. And then, of course, I had an uncle that used to have a little place down there, and somebody had a song they called, I got a nickel and a nail in my pocket. You youngsters don't know nothing about that. But to get back online, though, I do thank God for the opportunity. I thank God for the blessings that has been bestowed on our church. And I don't have a topic or a subject, but I did want to obey, not only from the pastor, but my big brother, when he asked, and yes, sometimes, I remember we got into some kind of little skirmish, and then I started running, and this book, believe it or not, can throw a baseball that's hard and accurate. I don't know what you threw that day, Red, but I was running across the road. We didn't have blacktop then, it was red dirt. And across the street was hog pens. Everybody had hogs and chickens back then. I'm gonna say this book, but excuse me, this book will do something. And I'm still wearing that scarf. But I want you to know this. That sweet, gentle lady, Mother Calahan, and you would hate for her to tell you this, go get the switch. Well, she said to get the switch, and I laid back, blood dripping, but I enjoyed it. She tore that book up. Throw that book up. But we're so thankful. And if I would have something to say, it would be, and I saw this is not something that I came up with, but I saw this, and I see it from time to time as traveling to and forth, and it says, a goal without a plan is nothing but a wish. A goal without a plan, because I'm going to add a little bit to that. A goal without a plan to achieve it is nothing but a wish. And we look at in school first. My goal is to graduate. But if I don't have a plan to get there, and that plan could entail making sure I get to school on time. That plan could entail making sure I keep proper notes. Because with the technology now, you don't have to worry about all the writing. You can just use the different technologies to keep these notes. And most systems have, you got to hit a certain score in order to graduate. This has to be in your plan. And for those of us who go to college, you got to have a plan also, because your goal is to graduate at the end of those 4 or 5 years. If you don't go to college and I go to the workforce, I got to have a plan to make sure that I get up every day on time. Whether I'm catching a bus, a train, or a flight. And if I got to use different methods to get there, I got to have a plan to reach that goal. And I look at our lives now, the church family. Look at yourself as being like Job. We know that story. And all the stuff that was put on him, and what did he do? He kept on coming back. And sometimes we come to the church body, and the pastor spoke us a little bit earlier when he was talking about how we may have been looking and feeling. And that's just a test from the devil to see where you are. Well, it's the same thing if I have lived my whole life serving God. And it looks like when I get down toward the end, things get a little shaky. It's just a test.
Testing time.
But if I got a plan,
Yes, sir.
go ahead now. That's what you do. That's what you do. And our minister of music also hit a number when he talked about wanting to go to heaven. We all want to go to heaven. As a Christian, our goal is to get to that next level.
Right.
But do I have a plan to get there?
Well, Jesus.
Those mornings when I come to service and I'm not feeling that well, because remember the story about Job?
Yeah.
Old devil had done something, or somebody parked in my parking spot before I come through the door. But I got to shake that off and keep on going. Because if I'm going to reach that goal, that's part of the plan I got to go through. It's not going to be easy. Every day is not going to be sunshine and bright, is it?
Well, Jesus.
Some days, because now you get the text messages and the other emails. Lonnie, Calahan, there hadn't been a deposit in your account. Like, oh, God, I didn't do it. But we still got to go on, don't we? My mother and I was sharing something not too long ago. We talked about, you know, when you preparing greens, and it could be purple or peas, which I love to death.
Yes.
Or any kind of vegetable like that. And you wash it, course, the greens, you're going to go several times. Some people say you're washing all the stuff out of them. But we were raised that once you go through these different stages of rinsing, you're going to wipe around in the bottom of that sink. And if you don't feel any grit, then they're ready for them ham hocks. But sometimes, when you get from that point, you wash your greens several times. Now I'm ready to put them in the boiling pot. And there's one piece that falls to the floor. Or when you look in the colander, after you close the lid and your greens are cooking, there's one piece left. My point is, we don't want to live our whole life sanctified and holy and get down to the last bit. You've done everything right, haven't you? I came to church, Brother Booker T and Deacon Ford, I feel in the tide slip. I did everything I was supposed to do. When we went on our missions, out of town, and the other things that we helped people in the community, our youth programs, and other things. And it gets down to that last little bit, and I don't make it over. So the point is, with that plan, I always look to make sure if I close the lid, I got all them greens, because I want all them.
Well, now.
I got all them peas.
Yes.
I got them. So my point again is, have that goal, but have that plan. And for our youth, and you know, we love athletics, and have that goal and that plan. I understand we got a good girls basketball team here who made it to the big dance and come up a little bit short. So if I'm a part of that, I'm going to go back and look at myself and see, did I spend some time when nobody around shooting them free throws? Or did I spend some time making a good bounce pass when I shoot it? Or did I have my iPad? Or was I talking to my boyfriend when I should have been doing something Mama told me to do? As my baby brother said, have I got a witness?
Well, Jesus.
And the same thing goes to these football players. You guys made a good run this year. About further they've been in a good while. But then you look back and ask yourself the same thing. Did I do what I'm supposed to do? Did I take care of the stuff that I'm supposed to take care of? First of all, I got to honor what my parents want me to do.
Yes.
And then I got to keep myself ready to go. Mentally, spiritually, and physically ready to go. So if I don't have a plan to achieve these goals, it's nothing but a wish. So my big brother, I'm going to have a plan next time. But I'm going to say this to you. Today was a wish. But I do thank God for the time. And I hope everyone enjoy the rest of your Easter Sunday. And enjoy it with your family. And youngsters, make sure you hug and kiss your mamas and papas and let them know you love them. Because I sure love mine. And I know you do too. Thank you, Rev.
Amen. Amen.